Hello there, my name is Bruce Rain from Breakers Creations. Thank you very much for joining me. Today on this live stream, I'm off centre. Oh dear. There we go. That's a little bit better. I have a whole bunch of things to repair. The thumbnail might be a little bit of clickbait. I'm not sure if we'll actually be dealing with a sad Mac today, but we are definitely dealing with a sad Mac, but not necessarily the error that you saw on the screen there. It is sort of late morning here on Saturday. The weather is overcast, but it's not actually raining. It's quite a nice day, quite pleasant weather, which is good because it has been stinking hot and humid here lately. Very moist. So, Kai, hello there. Sorry I didn't reply to your messages you sent me on Discord the other day. I'm a bit slack on Discord at the moment. I just saw them there. It's fantastic to see that the 2FX Reloaded has now been released upon the world. So I probably just have to get together with a few people and we'll get a few of them made up because I imagine they're going to be quite expensive per unit. This is the 2SI board that I have earmarked for you. A lot of it's already gone, as you can see. All the RAM slots have already been taken off, the ROM slot. I've got to remove the PDS slot here and a few things, and a lot of stuff's already gone. So I don't actually have too much to do to get this one ready. So that's the one that, as I said, is earmarked for getting sanded down and then scanned. So anyhow, we'll put that. Where am I going to put it? How about there? How about there? Yeah. Hello to Colin. Haven't had a chance to watch your latest video yet. I think it was about the PowerBook 150. I think is that it? I'm really looking forward to that because what a waste of space that computer was. It didn't even have an ADB port on it or something. It was just talk about budget, and it had that awful LCD display that the refresh rate is just horrendous on it. But anyhow, I'm looking forward to watching that. Hello, Paul. Hello, Jeremy. Hello, Francois. Hello, KMac. Hello, LRK. Hello, Sam. And BC Jeffro. Have I skipped anyone here? I'm sorry if I've skipped anyone. 12:30 a.m. Woke up late, so I should have at least an hour of viewing in me. Good. Going to collaborate with Max, who did the 2CI Reloaded to get the board done. Awesome. How do you do the internal host? Do you just keep sanding? There's actually a trick to that. I remember talking to Kai about this. He can probably explain this better, but ultimately you end up... there's a certain amount of, I think, logic involved with that, because, I mean, the internals are usually just ground and power rails, but yeah, he can explain it better. I don't think it's actually necessary to sand all the way down, but maybe he does. We'll see. Are there data layers in the middle of the 2SI? Is the 2SI a 4 or a 6 layer? I hope it's only 4 for the sake of everyone. Got a few little bits and pieces to do here. Internals typically ground and VCC, yep. So Steve, hello there. I hope you are well, and I hope little Gus is doing well as well. Possible to remake as a 4-layer. Yeah, this is actually this is what happened with the SE30 board. It's my understanding. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Kai. But when Boll made the new board, rather than try and copy the original board, he actually re-engineered it, or sort of redesigned it, so that it would be a 4-layer instead of a 6-layer, because the manufacturing processes have improved. It allows them to actually get more value out of those 4 layers than having to go with 6 layers. And of course, he added a few things, like he gave you the ability, if you wanted to actually solder your ROMs straight onto the board rather than needing a ROM slot, which of course I actually think is quite logical. You know, because the ROM slot actually gives a lot of grief for a lot of things. Balls go from schematics, mine are more 1-to-1 clones, yeah. Okay, cool. Doing better. Enzo, hello there. Now, anyhow, I've got to get into some work here because I've got a lot to do. What I have in front of me to do today, I have got I won't necessarily be doing these all in the same order, all in order or anything, but I have got a PC compatibility card. Sorry, that way around. That came from, I think, a 7000 series Mac PowerPC. You've got your little CPU there. That's your little Intel CPU there. And it's got 19 surface mount electrolytic caps on it. So I have been asked to recap this, and that's what I'm sort of going to, that's what I'm planning to do. So there's that. That's one thing that I have. I also have a liquid damaged laptop. This is the one here. This is a 17-inch MacBook Pro. It is technically, it's half a 2011 and half a 2010. So essentially what happened with this laptop, it was a 2011, and for those who know the 2011 MacBook Pros well, they had defective GPUs in them. And so the GPU on this one, and then, Ryan Joffrey, hello there. And then I did try and sort of fix the board, but I mean, ultimately when it comes to those GPUs, you just, you know, they get worse and worse and worse and worse. And then I had someone who donated a laptop to me. It was a 2010 laptop, 17-inch MacBook Pro, that someone had accidentally driven over it with a car. And the logic board was fine, but everything else was mincemeat. So I took the 2010 board out of that and put it into this 2011 case, and it's going well. So darn good machine. Never had any GPUs with it, thankfully. Well, you will. It's virtually it's kind of almost guaranteed. You know, the longer you run them, the more chance you've got. So smart, capable, and bald brother from down under. Dear. So anyhow, it's good. It's nice that these boards were interchangeable in this, that I could actually take this and stick a 2010 in it. Got a lot more life out of it. Unfortunately, this laptop lives in a house with children that don't necessarily have the level of respect required for modern computer hardware when it comes to things like dropping and liquid damage. I'll give you a few examples on this. We've got a nice big ding out of here. There's a nice drop there. We've got a nice ding up here where we've got this is all misshapen. You can see that's all bent out of shape there. What else? Yeah, pretty knocked around. And of course the main problem with this at the moment is the keyboard doesn't work. For anyone who's ever had any of these MacBook Pros of this era, if you get any liquid into the keyboard, you generally destroy the keyboard. So this is one that I actually have to get ready for tomorrow night, because going back to the customer tomorrow night. So I figured I would probably start on this one because it's the one that has probably the tightest deadline. Tell the kids. Look, at the end of the day, with this particular person, this laptop has been on my desk maybe half a dozen times. Each time it's been damage caused by liquid or dropping or something like that. And so, Obsidian Xenon, hello there. So, you know, what you going to do? What you going to do? Okay, so, I mean, look, you know, I guess when it comes to this sort of stuff, you just have to keep them off limits to the youngsters, don't you? I mean, offer some dinner, but I'll be back. Arnold noises. No, I'm not. I need practice. I haven't done an Arnold noise in a long time. Okay, now, I've already taken the bottom off, because I assessed this. The way I assess whether it is a dead keyboard or not is because what people sometimes don't realise, this is where I was talking to someone on some sort of know-it-all on Facebook one time when a person was talking about a computer that, you know, wouldn't switch on, a MacBook Pro that wouldn't switch on. I said, and they said, I think they might have said it was liquid damage or something. And I said, oh, you know, the keyboard's gone. And he said, no, it's the power button. And of course, it's not the keyboard, it's the power button. Well, if you have a look at the keyboard assembly, there's the power button, part of the keyboard assembly, even though it doesn't necessarily look like it when it's in the computer. So, it's a bit bent here, unfortunately, but that's okay, because this is held in by about 1,000 screws. So we've got to dismantle this, and we've got to dismantle it in a big way. So, won't that be fun? I'll get that there. Slash that Bruce button. New scope upgrade or just new arm for it. This is just new arm. So as in my scope. So I'll just put on the side view here. You may or may not be able to see it. Well, no, you can't really see it. So I did a review for a Vivor microscope, and quite favourable. It's a good microscope, but it came with this arm, and this arm has the advantage that it not only goes forwards and backwards and left and right, it can also go up and down quite easily. So I'm using this now instead of my old arm. All right, let's go back to the top view, or is the side view better? We'll see how we go. We'll try each one on for size. So there's a 2 terabyte spinner in it. Speaking of 2 terabytes, I actually got hold of a 2 terabyte SSD the other day, a little 2.5-inch SATA, and I have to figure out what I'm going to do with it. Got to figure out what computer it's going to get attached to. Where can I make best use of a 2 terabyte SSD? I could maybe run it as an external on the computer down here and use it for recordings of my live streams or something like that, or I could attach it to my main Mac Mini up in the house for my work, but that one's already pretty well set up for drives. I can stick it into one of my many MacBook Pros. I've got a 15-inch quad-core i7 2012 model. That's a nice zippy laptop. I've got what's that OS called? Sonoma running on that. Simona. i7 Mac Mini. So, okay, hang on, sorry, I've just got to look at it. I need to do that with the Core 2 GTI. Yeah, it's normal. I mean, people do complain about the screws of removing the keyboards and everything like that. I find it quite therapeutic. You know, you just sort of do things, talk, chat. You know, it doesn't require any real concentration. All right, so these are where I'm putting the screws for this. I have dismantled these many times. Now, the biggest issue with this one, it has been dismantled lots and lots before, and I know this connector is in really rough condition. So I'm actually going to protect it if I can when I remove it. Oh, and the speakers in this thing are absolutely shot to hell as well. You'll see when we open it up. Okay, take that out, and then what I'll usually do is I'll just get a bit of tape. This is just Captain tape here, and just sort of wrap it like that, just to help protect those little pins so it doesn't get knocked around. So there's that. Pop that there. We've got to undo all these connectors. There's that one there. That one's for the Wi-Fi? Maybe? Possibly? That's for the CD-ROM drive. I think this is for the speakers. I've already disconnected the battery. Always do that first so that if you happen to touch something you're not supposed to touching. Oh! I'll connect it, just came off then. I'm going to have to stick that back down again. This is what I keep saying to this person. I said, look, every time I pull this apart, things are just getting weaker and weaker. That can stay on. Actually, that can stay on too. What am I talking about? These have got to come undone. Let's get a screwdriver for that. So we've got this. Josh Hayes, hello there. Action Retro, hello Sean, how are you today? I do hope you are well. Okay, now I've got to find the right little unscrewery thing. If I was an organised person, I'd have these all in order of small to large and broken up into Phillips and Pentalobe and Torx and everything, but I don't have any of that. How about this one? I reckon that's fit. Oh, that's too big. This one is a 7. So I guess what we need a 6. If I can find it. That's a Phillips, Pentalobe. What's that? Doesn't help that my eyes aren't that crash hot, so when I'm looking at these things, I'm like, is that a Pentalobe or a Torx? Oh, stuff it, I'll just use one of these. About that size. Is that the right size? Yep, that feels the right size. I must have a one of my screwdriver things must be on the desk here somewhere because I can't find the one that I need at the moment. So these are Torx. I think, as I say, I think these are a Torx 6 size. One of the really good things about this design of laptop, I'm a big fan of these, what do they used to call them? Unibody. Unibody, that's the word they used to use for them. Because you just take that bottom off and you've got access to the RAM, CD-ROM drive, battery, hard drive. They're just there. It's just so easy to then go and replace any of these particular items. And it just frustrates me. And of course the battery, you just take it out, put another one in. It frustrates me so much to see what sort of Apple has been doing, sacrificing for smallness with their laptops. I love these. I love working on them. I love pulling them apart, you know. Anyway. Core 2 Duo are kick-ass chips, unlike the Intel dual core jokes. Intel dual core don't have any independent memory controls, so each CPU had to access the L2 cache from the front side bus. I sold a Intel Core 2 Duo iMac. What day is it? I did it on, I think it was Thursday? I'm not sure. I think it was Thursday. I got hold of one. That I didn't have to pay for, and so I just I put it up on Facebook Marketplace for $50, and got a taker that said I can come and get it today. I said, you said the magic word. It's funny because when you do a Facebook Marketplace thing, when you send a response, there's an automated response you can click on. Is this item still available? And most people just go, is this item still available? But I can tell you, when I'm someone who says it is a pickup-only item, I don't want to hear just, is this available? I want to hear, I can come and get it today, or I can come and get it this afternoon, or I can come and get it tomorrow morning, or whatever the case may be. You know, I mean, the idea of just saying, is this item still available? If so, I can come and collect it this afternoon. That is going to get my attention a hell of a lot more than just, is this item available? Okay. I've got to undo that. Remove that one there. I generally put the fan screws in a separate little container when I pull these apart so they don't get mixed up with the other ones. And where are we going? Have we got any screws left on? I think we're good. Check and make sure there aren't any other screws. Yep. That looks like it's all moving. Okay, oh, I've got to undo the keyboard. That's a little keyboard light. Or is it this one's a keyboard light? That's the keyboard light. That's something else. Not sure what. We'll worry not about that for now. There you go. Alright, so then when we flip that over, got a little power connector here that needs to come undone, like that. And normally then I just start working on the board, but with this one I've got to strip all this crap off because I've got to get to the keyboard. I have an Intel Core 2 Duo 17-inch laptop from 2009, I think. 17-inch dual 3.06 gigahertz. That's a fun computer to use. I mean, I don't know, it just sort of feels so substantial, you know, great big 17-inch laptop with, and then when it fires up, it gets to like 100 degrees Celsius because it's got an Intel Core 2 Duo in it. So it's great. I love it. And you put it on your lap and it keeps your lap warm. Okay, so I mentioned before that the sound is shot, and if you have a look at this speaker here, I'm not sure, I'll see if I can get it up a little bit closer and we can get some focus in. But that, I'm replacing this camera that's pointing down at the moment. I've got a new one on its way. There's absolutely no cushioning left on that at all. There's none of the actual cone left at all. Just got the bit in the middle. So that's shot. I don't have a replacement for it, so he's just going to have to live with that. Run some external speakers or something like that. I've got to see if I can get this connector back down on here. So we might start with that, and then we'll do the dismantlage afterwards. I'll just take this connector off, and we'll see if we can actually get it back on. Yes, it is one of those ones with a zillion tiny weeny little screws. Anyone who has not replaced the keyboard on these, you know, you're missing out. You're missing out. It's one of life's real experiences. I've got to find somewhere to put this while I do this. I mean, I don't really need to worry about it too much because it's already beaten to shit. All right, let's have a look at this under the microscope. See what we can figure. Right, scope view. The main fear that I have is that there is whether we've lost some pads, but we'll see. Okay. Yep, we lost the pad there. It's come off. We can see if we can run a wire to that. Down through that hole, perhaps. These ones are okay. So, oh, and there's one torn from there as well. That's probably just a ground. But we'll see, again, we'll see if we can get a wire on that too. Geez, I'd love to get some glue on that to hold that down. Right, let's get the connector that I've possibly already lost. I mean, I haven't moved anywhere, so it can't be too far away. Where did I put it? Anyone see where I put it? Oh, there it is. Right, let's have a look at the underside of this. For starters, okay, there's our little torn pad, right there. It's a shame we nearly got this off without any torn pads, but it is not our day. Oh, what's that? A bit broken off there. This thing is just falling apart from being pulled apart so many times. Oh. We were having a discussion about flux the other day, and someone mentioned MG chemicals. I did find my tube of MG chemicals today, so we might give that a try and see how that smells. Oh god, it's clogged. I'm making up words today. No, I'm not going to make one of those fancy spiral wire pads. I really did not want to have to wash this and everything. So I'm going to be very sparing with the flux because I just don't want to have to put this in the ultrasonic cleaner. Because that means I've got to take off the bloody heatsink and repaste it and crap like that. And I'm not doing it. No. No, not for a crappy old 2009. Where's my... There it is. I actually, I don't know enough about these laptops to answer your sorts of questions there, Luke. Someone else might be able to. If Jay from the House of Moth was here, he'd probably be able to answer that. He's pretty good one with, I think, that era. But not me. No, sir. So I've got to get a wire onto that. What is that? Oh god, what a mess. I'm going to have to clean that off a bit more. Oh, okay. That's joined to that, so that's fine. I can just run a wire from there. Zizzers. And I probably shouldn't even really bother with this because this is all. These are going to the speakers, and the speakers are crap. Crap. I need, here we go, tweezers. I've got to find a way of putting this back on without melting the crap out of it. Right. Excuse me. I think I'm going to need a pointier, soldery, doodery doodly thing. Because this is small. So yeah, I said moth 3 times whilst looking in the mirror. Oh dear. So, yeah, Jay is working on his garage at the moment, so we may or may not see him today. His garage. Right, can we get this done? Just get a little bit more flux here. This is the MG Chemicals flux that I was talking about before. Maybe I should have run the wire before I put this on. What do you guys think? I think I should. I think it's too hard for me to get this. So what I think I'll do is I'll get the little wire ready to poke in there. I may end up having to do one of those little curly whirly twirly things now that I think of it. Is this too thick? Is that why too thick? No, I think he's probably okay. Apple's Anonymous, hello there. Now, this really does need more flux on it, but I'm being very sparing because I don't want to have to clean it all off too much. So that's why I'm not absolutely dousing it in flux, because I really do not want to put this into the ultrasonic cleaner. I probably don't need to actually do a wire to this one of these little back ones, because it's just that's just to hold it on. It's not actually pins, but boop, 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 boop. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and, oh God, this is going to suck. How much is it going to suck? Lots. That's how much. Should have 2 soldering irons running at the moment. One with a thick, what do you call them? Thick tip. One with a thin one. I don't even know how I'm supposed to solder that on there. Riddle me that. I don't even see this one here at the top. How am I supposed to solder that? Huh? So that is connected to ground there. It clips onto the side or something, I guess. Okay, what? No, it doesn't. Doesn't touch the plug at all. So who cares? Let's have a look at it and have some thinking. If I put a tiny weeny little bit of solder on this pad, like that, that's not a tiny bit, but never mind. And I'll do that. A little bit of, just a tiny bit of flux on there. And if I put this on here, could I melt that on there by just applying heat at the top? How's everyone going? Are people getting bored out of their brains because I'm working on a modern computer, or are people actually finding this a change of scenery? Fun change of scenery. I wish I'd done that with my left hand. Stupid idiot. There we go. It worked. It worked. It worked. That's the sound of me being surprised. I need a microscope recommendation, please. Budget's $300, including shipping and use. Okay, so there are a couple of things that you need to ask yourself when it comes to microscopes. First of all, do you want one that is USB type, as in it projects an image up onto a screen, so like, or are you looking for an analog one like this, where you're actually looking at the, sort of, you're looking at what you're working on, sort of just through a lens rather than from a camera, a little digital camera. So that's an important thing you need to ask yourself. Then, once you have asked yourself that, you then need to decide, do I want to live stream what I'm doing, or am I only interested in looking at it for myself? Oh, balls. There we go. Come on. Come on. There we go. That'll do. I think we'll be able to get that into something solid. Maybe. Shazbut. Upload a video of Quadra 700 with an exploded Maxell battery. It blew right off the board with the holder. It's so disappointing to see, isn't it? Especially on a Quadra 700. We all love the old Quadra 700. See if I can get some solder onto that. We just need to make this have continuity. Now, other than that, I don't really care how it looks. Oh, frangipani. Here we go. Let's just test that. Just got to make sure that we've got some continuity there and that we haven't got any bridgings. And then other than that, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. Fine, fine. I do think a Quadra 700 reloaded board could do quite well. Okay, got continuity there. Looking good, peoples. So now we've just got to clean it up a little. And then I might put a little bit of UV mask on it to try and make it a little bit more rigged. And battery bombs are rare. Oh, I've got one with a battery bomb. It's just such a phenomenally popular computer, isn't it? Imagine if you could actually just make a new one. Get all the components and make a new one. Just going to look at my handiwork on an angle. It's one of the things that I do. Make sure I've got it all fixed and sorted and everything's great and peachy. There we go. It is not my finest work, but it is functional. That's all we care about. Oh, God. Got these little spiders everywhere. There must have been a nest somewhere. I just keep finding them on me. Alright. So, what do? We get a little bit of UV mask on the side. That is unhappy. A Mac Effects 2CX 2CI Quadra 700 case would be amazing. Yeah, you mean like a clear one? I haven't bought any of those cases. And I don't know, it's just... I've never been particularly fussed about the state of the case of any of these old Macs. You know, like the yellowing and stuff like that. I don't worry about any of the retrobrighting or anything like that. Oh, excuse me. Burped. Talking about Mac Effects, is their iMac G3 bezel CRT compatible? I will need clarification on that question. I'm not really sure what's meant to that. Hello, Mega. I haven't said hello to you. I don't think I've said hello to you either, Nate. Okay. When I'm working with this UV mask, because if it's too thick, it doesn't dry very well. So when I want to build up a bit of it, I actually just do it in layers. Layer upon layer upon layer. give us a little bit of rigidity here that hopefully will hold it in reasonably well. Did I say hello to you, Paul? I can't remember. I think I did, but, you know, I'm an old man now. I can't remember things. Right. Okay, well, I think that'll do. That was a little bit of repair that I had not expected to do, but now that it is done, I'm feeling much better about myself. And it's nice to just be reminded every now and again of doing the fine little soldering repairs rather than just all the great big chunky ones. Here we go. Right, now we start dismantling. And all of this crap has to come off. Let's go to top view. There we go. Just looks a bit dark, doesn't it? What if I do that and brighten it up? Yeah. So, we've got to get rid of the CD-ROM drive. And we've got to get rid of this thing. Wi-Fi crap sticks thing. We try and remember where everything goes. You can, one of the things you can do with these old Macs, what the hell? Why is that Torx? Answer me that. One of the things you can do with these, it's probably not a matching screw, I probably pieced it together from two machines. Stranger things have happened. You can buy adapters, if people may or may not be aware of it, with these old Macs, you can buy adapters that fit into this spot, but are a mount for a 2.5-inch hard drive. So you can stick a second 2.5-inch hard drive by sacrificing your CD/DVD ROM. And for a lot of people, they don't use CDs and DVDs much anymore, so it's no real issue. So you plonk your second drive in there, so you end up with two hard drives. So you can really load these up with storage space. Should actually talk to him about if he wants to do that. I've actually got one of those adapters. I have no idea where it came from. It was included with something that I bought. But I was just looking through some boxes the other day and I pulled it out. I'm like, I know what that is. Oh, the speaker's got to come out as well. See? Ping. Gallows Griff, hello there. I have one of those hard drive caddies in my 2009 MacBook Pro. Keeps all of my VMs in a nice separate SSD. Good idea. How'd you come? Thank you. Okay, so that's the plug that has been removed. I don't see anywhere where... Yeah, that ground makes contact, so that's all cool. This speaker's not too bad. Oh no, that one's crap. Oh, they're crap. They're terrible. I don't know if we'll get this in focus. We'll try. Then once again, these two have just lost the cone entirely. It's just deteriorated away into nothing. So yeah, you should hear when this thing chimes. It goes just like that. There we go. Okay. I'll put that there. It shows me that it goes through the speaker. Something like that. Alright, so now we've got to take this black part off. This is the... If you're wondering what this black part is, it's actually a light shield. It's designed to make it so that the backlight of the keyboard is sort of reflecting only in one direction. So it's specifically designed to just try and keep as much of the light working for the backlight as possible. And when we lift this off, it's with adhesive. Now, you used to be able to buy, and probably still can in some places, but certainly not here locally. You used to be able to buy keyboards that came with this backlight attached. But unfortunately, the place that I buy these from locally, they didn't have backlit versions of this keyboard anymore. Only the non-backlit version. So we've got to try and reuse this. And one thing I can tell you from experience, oh, look at all this crap. This is all from my last repair, all this bloody double-sided tape that I've put on here. Just an indication that this thing has already been repaired more than once. Frustrates me, especially when it's the same problem again. Just, you know, don't pour drink into your keyboard. It's as simple as that. So I've never done it. I remember one day when I poured champagne into my MacBook Air keyboard. That was a fun day. What I can remember of it. Sorry, I'm missing a lot of the chat here. It's zooming by pretty quickly. If there's anything anyone wants to specifically X me about, please feel free to do so, but maybe just give us the old @Brankus Creations thing that pops up. I like licorice all sorts. I ended up watching some classic Doctor Who today, The Happiness Patrol. I remember watching it for the first time as a kid. Now, can you tell me which Doctor that is? The Happiness Patrol, because that doesn't ring a bell with me, and I know my Doctor Who pretty well. Maybe an era of Doctor Who that I wasn't watching. I tended to a kind of zone out around about the time of not Peter Davidson, the other one, Colin Baker. I started losing interest in Colin Baker time. I'm more of a what do you call that? I'm going to have to undo that because that's really in the way. There we go. What's it? Sort of John Pertwee, Tom Baker, Peter Davidson. They're probably my most common ones. Oh, Sylvester McCoy. Now, see, I didn't watch most of the Sylvester McCoy. By that stage, that actually changed the format of it, didn't it? They were before it used to be like 4-hour-long episodes or close to an hour long. And then when they did that, they started changing them into like half-hour episodes or something. I can't remember, but yeah, I didn't watch many of the Sylvester McCoy ones with Ace. Was the offsider. Ace. That line from Red Dwarf when Rimmer was saying that his nickname was Ace. And what's his name said, your nickname was never Ace. Maybe Ace Hole. Right, now these are the lighter coloured screws, not the black ones. Let's see if we can keep all of them. It's going to have to come off. Try and get this off without destroying it, because I want to reuse it. I remember that one when the the Dalek flew for the first time. Or hovered. If the backlight isn't particularly good on this afterwards, I don't really care. I'm not in a position where I'm like trying to make this the bestest repair ever, because, well, as is pretty clear, I'm already pretty freaking jaded about this one. The way the backlight works, by the way, it has these little LEDs. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 LEDs, and there's this clear plastic base thingy, and the light shines sideways into the plastic. So there's a little etch out, a little hole out of the plastic here, and the light shines that way or that way. And then there are these little dots, these little white dots that are printed onto this plastic or etched in. And so when the light shines in, it makes those little etched dots glow. And so that's how it creates a backlight under all your keys while only using a handful of LEDs. It actually uses this plastic to send the light around. So here's my new keyboard. So let's go around that way, yes sir, right, well yes sir. And then we'll put that, so if we can get this into position. If this has any stick left in it. There we go. That'll do. That'll do. It will do. Yes, sir, it will. Right, now I've got to get all these little bloody screws out. 50 zillion of them. For that, I actually have a specific screwdriver I use for that. Phillips 00. This is the one I use. Yes, sir. I want to put these in a container that's reasonably easy to get them back out of. But at the same time, I don't want to lose them all. So I suppose I'll just put them in this. I'm going to have to take this crap off. This is the, what do they call this? These slots? Can anyone remember what these slots were called on these Macs? I've got to take the bloody hard drive thingy off as well. Now this is a bad part of design, this bit. But I have to take this off to then take this off. Where am I going to put that? I'm going to double up. I'm running out of little holes in here. I'll put it there. There we go. There. Bing. Okay, now we can get access to all these. There's a bit of rust in these. So the idea that liquid was not spilt on these is becoming less and less credible as time goes by. Oh, there's a little black one screw in there. I must have lost one last time I did this. Replaced it with a black screw. Ace destroy a Dalek with a baseball bat. You know what's really funny? That's the one episode I have seen. That is the one episode of what's his name, of Sylvester McCoy, Doctor Who, that I've seen. I haven't seen the whole episode, but I've seen chunks of it. I love Sylvester McCoy. Did the actor who played Crichton on Red Dwarf ever act in other roles? Well, he's Robert Llewellyn is his name, and he did, but you kind of got to hunt for him. So, first of all, he was the host of a show in the UK called, what was it, Garbage Wars or Garage Wars or something like that. It was a show where they used to have teams of people that would go to like a rubbish dump type thing and try and piece together challenges. Like they might say, you need to build a machine that can, I don't know, launch a projectile 30 feet away. And then they would have to go and find bits and pieces from it was Junkyard Wars, I think. Junkyard Wars, does that sound right? Scrap Heap Challenge, there you go. Yeah, that show was fantastic, you know, with people like, what was his name? Dick Strawbridge or something like that, I think was his name. He was one of the team captains. He was an ex-army guy, like an engineer. Anyhow, so Robert Llewellyn was the host of that for some years. There were other hosts, but he was host of it for some years. He was actually, for anyone who's, I don't know how well people know, like, English comedy, but there were two two guys. There was Rick Mail and Adrian Edmondson, and they were originally in, they actually had a stand-up comedy thing, the two of them, when they were younger, called 20th Century Coyote, and then they did The Young Ones sitcom called The Young Ones, and then they did another sitcom called Filthy Rich and Cat Flap, and then they did one called Bottom. And Bottom was just the two of them, essentially, you know, with a few little sort of side characters. And Robert Llewellyn is actually in an episode of that, believe it or not. So, but anyhow, yeah, he's done some other stuff. But I'm a huge fan of Bottom. I used to love that show. I mean, I used to just watch that. I mean, that would just be like my go-to. It was like, you know, what am I going to watch? I'm going to watch some Bottom. Don't know how well it would stand up today. It's incredibly violent. I mean, it's exaggerated sort of slapstick type violence, but still violence. Gas man, gas man. There's a classic line in that when the gas man turns up and he just keeps screaming out, gas man, and then the gas man says, do you have someone who looks after you? I just love that. And it's just, that's the best insult you can give to anyone, isn't it? You know, do you have someone who looks after you? Oh dear, I love that. Now runs a YouTube channel about EVs called Fully Charged. Well, there you go. And I don't know if he still is, but he certainly was dating an Australian, Mr. Llewellyn. If we would sort of pronounce it in the proper Welsh, it would probably be Llewellyn. There's no fast way of doing this, by the way. I mean, I figured you probably know that already, but this is, these just have to come out one at a time, and they've got to go back in one at a time. The one advantage of it being like this, if you do have this replacement keyboard and it's a bit bendy, it doesn't matter. Once it gets screwed into place, it's straight as. I'm watching a TV series at the moment and I can never remember the name of it. It's really good though. So that's no, okay. So I bought this keyboard from this replacement keyboard from a different company to where I got this latest one. I bought this one from a company here in Australia called Finco. They're pretty good with the spare parts. I've had issues with them with batteries though. They've sold stuff that was meant to be genuine Apple batteries and they have not been in good nick. So I generally don't buy batteries from them anymore, but I still do buy, you know, keyboard assemblies and stuff like that. They do sell quite a lot of parts for these old Macs. And I don't know, I mean, I do like keeping them going. I have lots and lots and lots of unibody MacBook Pros. I've got 13-inch, 15-inch, 17-inch. And I find it very hard to part with them. Some I've sold, but I just find them such nice little computers. I've actually got one with a Japanese keyboard. I figured I should probably sell that one. It's not much use to me. Might be someone out there that can use an old Mac with a Japanese keyboard. The iMac that I sold the other day, the 17-inch 2009, oh sorry, 27-inch 2009 model, late 2009 model with a dual 3 gigahertz CPU. It was maxed out RAM up to 16 gigs, and as I say, and it had a 1 terabyte Seagate hard drive in it, and yeah, as I say, I sold it $50. I reckon that's good value. And certainly Marketplace thought it was good value because I ended up having about 20 different inquiries from people asking if it was still available. I had one person actually saying, oh, you know, because I said in the ad, I said it's beautifully looked after, it's in excellent condition, all fully functional, all working. And then I had this person say, you know, is the glass okay? Is it cracked? Are there any chips? And I'm sort of thinking, wouldn't I have said there were chips in the glass rather than it's in perfect condition? But anyhow, no chips in the glass. And he's like, oh, do all the keys on the keyboard work? Again, I think I probably would have mentioned that, but yes, all the keys on the keyboard work. And then he said, is it negotiable? And I'm like, I'm just looking at these 15 other inquiries that have come through and thinking, no, it's not negotiable. If $50 is too rich for you, then, you know, you maybe need to look elsewhere. Nearly there. As you can see, I don't do this terribly systematically, so I do often end up going, oh, I've still got one screwed in there. Like that. Yay, there we go. Here is our removed keyboard. And oh my goodness, that ain't water. Can you guys see that? I'm just going to put this up into the light and just look at that. Look at that residue left behind. That is not water. This particular person told me it was water. Water doesn't stay like that. That's cordial or frickin' something. But anyhow, it's not water. It's definitely not water. It would have dried up by now if it was water. I'm not going to taste it. I think that would tell me what it is, but I'm not going to taste it. Anyhow. It's not wee. I don't think it is. It doesn't smell like it. I can't be 100% certain though. Alrighty. So, this is our new keyboard. It's going to go into place, and I probably shouldn't have stuck this thing on it yet because I'm an idiot. Because I've got to put all the screws in. Off she comes. Now, one of the things that I do with these keyboards when I put them in, so I get a little bit of tape. Let me just see if I can grab some tape from here. Ah, my tape dispenser. Tape dispenser. Where's the end? It's come off. There we go. No, don't need that bit. Okay. What I will usually do with this, I'll get this and I will put a bit of tape there, like that. Then I will cut this if I have scissors. Do I have scissors? No, I'll have to do it with a blade. And I will go... And then I will double that over and do it like that. And what that allows me to do is when I am putting it into the little connector, I can grab that little bit of tape and pull it into the plug socket there like that. It's a simple thing, and it just makes life so much easier when it comes to putting it back together. Tape. Come on, tape. Whoops. Being such a pain, you are. Don't want to come off. There we go. Oh. It must be a day ending in Y. Yep, indeedy. You're exactly right there. It had that glossy look about it that it was probably something that had maybe a bit of sugar in it. So, you know, maybe cordial or something. I mean, I know that in the household where this came from, they're not big sugar people there, so maybe it was an artificial sweetener or, what's that crap called? Stevia. So I have this kind of weird way of doing these keyboards, where I kind of screw them in from the middle outwards. And I don't know if it makes any difference, but... Ooh, someone's having a bit of a party. I can hear some music bopping away out there. Shall we see, while we're doing all the boring stuff, so we see how the chickens are doing. Oh, there we go. We got some chickens in the camera this time. Usually they're just hiding away, but we can see them today. So there's the little white one. Actually, I can see a black one, at least one black one, and a white one, and a grey one. I mean the brown one. Sitting there, saying, "Hey, bring me some food." And their feeders are probably all empty now. And they were all full, but they get a little bit of help from the pigeons that hang around. One of the downsides to having backyard chickens is you get pigeons. And in this part of the world, pigeons are not native. They are a pest, an introduced pest. Pigeons. I don't know who the idiot was that brought them across, but someone did. They said, wouldn't it be a great idea if we brought pigeons into this country? Hello. Dear. Okay, well, I can change back to the top view now. I think, I don't know, what's more interesting, chickens or me putting hundreds of screws into a keyboard? Don't answer that. I promise I'll do something interesting after this, okay? That's my promise to you all. I've got quite a few things that I can be working on. You might want to, maybe people have a think about what you'd like to see me work on next. I have got an SE30 that is giving me a sad Mac chime when I switch it on. That's one that I would like to have a look at. So if you want me to have a look at the S30, just let me know. I have got some LC, LC2, LC3, Quad 605, you know, all the same. I have power supplies that need recapping. Two, I think. I have a 2SI that doesn't work. I can't remember what's wrong with it, but it doesn't work. I was working on a 2SI recently. That was the barn find one, not that one. I've got another 2SI, belongs to a customer. What else? Oh, I've got a laptop with a smashed screen that I've got to dismantle and find out what model of screen it is so that I can then order a replacement. What else? I've got an iPad, which I did have a look at on another stream once before, and I couldn't find anything wrong with it, but I suspect it might be a fuse. So I've got to go on a fuse hunt, just based on what I saw about the symptoms and what happened. So essentially what happened with this, iPad was in child's school bag. Okay, normal. And then drink also in school bag. Drink lid maybe not put on properly. Drink end up in school bag as well. So this iPad ends up covered in drink. Now, when the iPad got home, the person who is the owner of this iPad decided that the best course of action would be to plug it into the USB-C connector. And in doing so, I think they actually destroyed it. Had they not plugged it in, had they let it dry out properly. A number of different ways you can dry it out. I know everyone talks about the rice thing. I don't use a rice method at all. I actually dry things out by popping them into a very, very moderate cold, like coolish oven. So I've got an oven here. It's a little toaster oven that I got from like Goodwill, and or for any Australians there, I got it from the Salvos. And I mean, I know the Salvos aren't an Australian thing, but the Salvos stores are a very common thing here in Australia. And it allows me to put it on really low temperatures, like 40. I can put it 45 degrees, that sort of thing, and so I can just pop anything there in it, that sort of temp, to dry it out. Where do you order your replacement screens? Well, I generally just jump onto eBay or Amazon. You know, I usually just do a Google search and just do shopping and just see what happens there. But yeah, pretty much all of them I just get from eBay. I've repaired a screen on a what was it? Like a MacBook Air recently, an M1 MacBook Air. They're not cheap to buy because they're not a particularly old device, but it's still worth doing, looking at the cost of the machine. Oh, crap sticks. Love my op shops. The biggest issue I have with op shops in this part of the world is that they just generally don't. It's getting actually even less and less, but they generally don't stock any tech. It's just clothes, books, kitchen items, that sort of stuff. I live in an area where there are a lot of, sort of financially disadvantaged people. And I think they're great places because people can go in and, clothe their family for very little money in clothes that are otherwise perfectly good. They're just unwanted by persons. And so, they're absolutely fantastic. But I love going in there and looking for tech stuff. But I guess it's probably because there are so many items that are made so badly these days that, they're sick and tired of people buying things and then they break and then coming back and saying they want their money back because it's just cheap garbage. I do wish they had some tech, because I don't care. I'm not someone who's going to take it back. As I say, I got this little toaster oven. That was fantastic. I got it on special too. They had like half price on all, white goods or whatever. They even have like really cheap mattresses, and they're not like reused ones. They're brand new. Great place. If I was setting up a mattress for a spare room or something, I'd definitely get it from there. They have some musical instruments there sometimes too, and furniture. Forgot about furniture. It's kind of cool when you're looking for odd, glasses. Like, let's say you had a set of 6 glasses, and you smashed one, and you want to try and replace that one. You can often get lucky and rock up into those places. They'll just have an odd glass that's, the same or very, very close for your set. I'm quite close to a Salvos store here, and so I do pop in and have a look every now and again. And I've just been noticing that the tech has been getting less and less and less. See, I want to get another 1080 screen, but I don't want to spend much for one. I don't want a really good one. I'm happy to just get like a cheapie, or even like a 1080 TV, as long as it's got HDMI, so I can run it as a second screen for this Mac that I have down here. Our council does e-waste collections, but you're not even allowed out of your car when you drop stuff off there, so it's not like you can pick through it and grab stuff. You literally, if you've got stuff in your boot, you open your boot, they take it out. They don't want you out of your car at all. It's a health and safety thing, basically, but yeah, it's not like, I remember in the olden days, when I was really young, you used to be able to go to the tip, And when you went to go take something to the tip, you could scrounge around through other people's garbage. You could go, oh, look at this thing, isn't that great? Nowadays, when you go to the tip, you just go in, it's a waste management place where you drop everything into a great big, sort of compressory hole in the ground type thing. And, if you go down there to grab something, you're going to need a ladder to get back out again. One of the things that I'm actually after at the moment is a 4x5 or 4x3, whatever the, like a 102 4x768 LCD, preferably with VGA and DVI. I'd really like that. It'd be really good for my old vintagey sort of Macs. There's a lot of my old vintage Macs, when I plug them into VGA, I've got a 16:9 screen or whatever. Why do I still have so many screws when I've been at this for so freaking long? Just makes no sense to me. It's like they're multiplying in the little container. So definitely a lot quicker to remove these than it is to put them in, isn't it? This is taking me way longer to put them in. Normally when I do this, like I would just do this while I'm watching TV or something like that, have something going, watch a bit of cricket or something like that, and then you can just do this and you just sort of switch off. You just kind of lose, you don't really care about how long it's taking you, because you're just doing it as a, kind of a, almost like muscle memory type thing. You're just not even really paying attention as you do it. I used to do this sort of stuff. My very first job, my very first proper job, I mean, I say that proper job, and I'd had proper jobs before, but it was my first, let's call it a career path type job. I was the dog's body. I was the youngest there, so I used to get lots and lots and lots of very repetitive tasks. And you would always have ways of kind of zoning out, so you could just get it done without sort of, getting annoyed by it. And I remember distinctly when I progressed, and then when we started hiring people to take over those dog's body roles, so many people used to whinge about it. You go, we need you to go and do 33 of these. It's like, 33? Ugh. It's like, just shut up and do it, will you? We're getting close to the end, by the way, for this. So, I have many Dell 5x4 screen screws, but I'm in SA. Oh, that's a bit of a bummer. I could probably choose. It's funny. I was at one of those. What do you call those things? Like a pawn shop recently, and they had one up, up on a shelf for like $50, and I so nearly bought it. But I was there with my wife, and I could just see her going, "What do you need that for?" I am actually going to be starting to offload some of my computers. I have a bit of a space issue at the moment, and in particular I have lots and lots of iMacs. And I'm talking about the later ones, the aluminium ones. They're probably from about, 2000 and, not the white ones. So what is that, about 2006, 7, something like that. And then I've got, later ones, 2009 and probably 10 and 11 and stuff like that. And I just don't need them all. I find it so hard, because they look so nice. I find it so hard to, if I have an option to grab one, I find it very hard to not, not grab them. There's one. I'm going to find all the holes now, because I do this so unsystematically. I've now got to find all the holes that I've missed out. Found an old Mitsubishi CRT with a built-in VGA cable with a VGA cable cut off. Yeah, seen that before. I've seen people cut off cables to stuff. No. Oh, there's one. Yes. Corner, corner, corner. Have we got any more here? Ah, that was the last one. There was no ceremony or anything. It was just the last one. Right, so now we can put this plastic crappy thingy on. There's a little bit of metal that sticks up here with a hole that helps you line it up, and then there's a hole here as well, so that helps you get it into the correct position. Look at my watch is telling me off to a great start. You know I'm not off to a great start. I've been sitting on my ass. Don't patronise me like that. So let's see if we can get some double-sided tape onto this. Stick it down. I nearly threw away some tools today by accident. They must have fallen into the bin. And I was going to empty the bin out, and I'm like, hey, that's not rubbish. That's not right. I'm back. Steve's back. Is it fixed? Well, it's sort of fixed. I mean, it's got a new keyboard in it. But I'm in the process of putting it back together again. It's got hairs in it. Oh, by the way, Steve, so this is the computer I was telling you about with the children that keep destroying the laptop. And I was told that it was water, and that there was some water that was around the laptop but not in it. Well, once I got the keyboard out, it wasn't water. It was cordial or something like that. You could definitely tell it had some like sugary stuff in it. And definitely in it, not around it. Definitely poured into the right-hand side of the keyboard. So, yeah. I don't know if they knew and were just or if they sort of were in denial of what was going on, or whether they genuinely didn't realise that was what had happened. Anything is possible in that family, I can tell you. Yeah. I'm just putting some little bits of tape here. I don't even know if it's necessary, but it's just to try and make it so that this backlight will stick down a bit. Because the better adhesion you get with the backlight sticking down, the better sort of like you get actual lights being spread over the keyboard rather than just a hot spot right in the middle. Yeah, oh, I kind of did tell them it was the last time, but I will definitely say last time this time. I'll say, look, bits were falling apart as I was dismantling it. I have put them together, but I cannot promise that I will put them together again. If you damage this one again, you're going to need to buy another one. You know what he also said to me? He said, you wouldn't happen to have like a 17-inch laptop that I could use? And I'm like, why would I give you one of my pristine laptops? Mine are in beautiful condition, beautiful functional working condition. I'm not going to give you one of my really nice laptops. No way, Jose. Well, yeah, I'll put it. All right, put it there. Put it there. Put it there. All right, that'll do. That will do. And then I'll put some sticky stuff on the edges of this as well. Just be easier to cut it. This is 3M sticky stuff. Aluminium. Aluminium. Aluminum. Aluminium. Crap. chicken is getting a little bit annoyed at the moment. I'm not sure what about. Probably thinks it's time to be fed. I found a stash of eggs the other day. Two of the chickens had actually started laying their eggs in a different location, which chickens do sometimes. And so I just found this cache of, I don't know, 20 eggs or something like that. I didn't even realise were there. Yes, I think, anyhow, we'll see what happens with this. I mean, I honestly think the guy needs to start saving up to get himself a new laptop. Ah, crap, the piece isn't long enough. Care factor. Boop, 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 boop. No, we haven't really had any snakes in this area at all. The only real predators that we get around here are, what are they called? Oh crap, I can't remember the name of them. They're a type of bird, a type of raptor, bird of prey. They generally don't pick on the chickens. I think if you had a young one or an injured one, they might. But they really only pick on the pigeons that hang around here. It's the word will come to me any second. It's in my head. Goshawk. That's it. Goshawk. So we have goshawks here, and they, as I say, they will generally take out the pigeons from time to time. And of course, they get the chickens get very upset, but the chickens aren't really threatened by the goshawk because the chickens are too big. It's amazing to watch the goshawk. I mean, I tell you what, you know it's there, but it just, the minute you look at it, if I look at it, it takes off. I did see it once take out a pigeon. A pigeon was actually injured already, and just sitting on the grass, and then and I thought, oh, this goshawk's going to come down and get it because it's injured. But it didn't. It just sat there and sat there. And then eventually the pigeon tried to fly, and then the goshawk took it out. So it was clearly, that was his method, was to attack while they're on the wing. Right. God, this is tedious. Sorry, folks. Here am I thinking, oh yeah, this will be fun. It's like, no, it wasn't. Not fun at all. And this shit's not sticking particularly well either. Is it? No. Yeah, can't see. Can't see, need my other glasses. Where are my other glasses? Hey, that's actually worked. It's not on it. You know when you've got the actual backing off, because the backing is really shiny. If you lift it up and it still looks matte, you know the sticky stuff is still on it. There we go. Oh God, I hate this. Midday already. Where is Saturday gone? Yeah, well, it's 1 here. I did have something to eat prior to coming down here, which is something I don't often do. So that's meant that my belly is a little happier. I'm cooking roast chicken tonight. Not the whole chicken, just bits of the chicken. I might actually brine those chicken pieces before I cook them as well, because that's brining gives you a lovely juicy. And I'll probably make a gravy from the drippings of the chicken. And I'm going out to dinner tomorrow night to the pub. Catch up with some old friends, should be fun. And returning this laptop to one of the people there. Chicken thighs the other day. Marinated them in lemon juice and salt for an hour, then added yogurt and tandoori spice. Sounds pretty good to me. Chicken thighs are always my cut of choice. Always. The ones I'm using for tonight's cooking is going to be skin on, bone in thighs, so what they call here chicken thigh cutlets. They will be, so they'll have all that nice fat from the skin. Nice. Alright, that'll do. Okay, then we just need to take all these little crappy things off. These should be easier because they're stuck onto this plastic better. Yeah, much easier. Ever done buttermilk marinade? Sure have. Whenever I do fried chicken, I use buttermilk marinade. So, and with that, it's generally, well, I'm not really marinating as much as I am brining it. So I basically just get buttermilk, I add salt, I add a little bit of Frank's hot sauce, and then a little bit of pepper, and then I let the chicken sit in that for a while, a few hours ideally, and then I coat it in my special, my version of KFC kind of seasoning, and then fry it and make my fried chicken. And that buttermilk is beautiful. And of course, if you want a really, really crispy sort of outside, what you can actually do is you can get the chicken, you can, with the buttermilk, you then put the coating on it, and then you put it back in the buttermilk, and then back into the coating. So you do a double coat. I personally don't like that, but a lot of people do like that. Alright, we're going to have to get this little power switch in its home. I'll leave that there for the moment. Okay, let's see if we can stick this on. At least half decent job. Stick is coming undone. Crap. There's one hole. Here's the other hole. Just use your, hello Dan K. Use your website to order the proper part numbers from Mouser for tantalum caps, but do you have a master part sheet for other Macs? I don't. You know who, don't you have something like that, Steve from Mac 84? Some sort of spreadsheet or something with, I think possibly even like console 5 kits or something like that, or Mouser or something like that. Alright, now I need my little ringy ding thing for the power button. And then I can pop my power button in underneath there. I need to actually update some of those links because I am actually using slightly different caps to the ones that I've indicated there. And because I don't buy from Mouser, I buy from DigiKey. DigiKey I've found to be really, really good for me in Australia. It's not necessarily going to be the same for everyone, but here in Australia, their delivery is really good. Is that it? Is that a power button? Is that it? Sorry, I'm just looking to find the right screws, I think. I think it's these ones. Ooh, craps. Oh, craps. Really should have made better note of which was which. So I need two tiny little screws, and I was sure they were over here. No, they're too big. So I guess it must be these ones. I don't know why there's three of them. Sorry about my big fat head in the way. Must be those. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's the one. Hello, Veronica Explains. Yeah, so with DigiKey, they're not in this country. They generally, I think they're coming from probably somewhere in Asia. I'm not sure, but generally when I order from DigiKey, they arrive here in 3 days. So, for example, I ordered on Tuesday night, and they arrived Wednesday about lunchtime. So, sorry, Friday. Sorry, Tuesday night, arrived on Friday, and that's good. It means I've got stuff here for working on the weekend. Now, oh, that's right. This was the thing I was actually going to talk about. The next thing I have to work on, we have to figure out what's the best thing for me to work on. That other people might be interested in. Specifically, I have a I've got a PC compatibility card that needs recapping. I have got an SE30 that is giving me a sad Mac chime. They're probably the two main ones. So, oh, and then there was a laptop with a broken screen as well. So they're the three that I've got. So what are people's thoughts about those? Attending a VCF event here in the USA if the opportunity arose. Yeah, look, I probably would. If the opportunity arose. I mean, there are lots of things to factor in with something like that. Obviously, with like overseas travel and everything, and accommodation, and then of course, am I taking my wife with me? And if I'm taking my wife with me, who's now looking after the chickens and the cats? All that sort of stuff. Lots of things that need to be considered for something along those lines. I do have a screw here that I've got no idea where it goes. I maybe should have paid better attention. But, you know. It goes that way around. This is when you start getting complacent with this stuff, because you're like, yeah, I've pulled this apart so many times. There we go. You can go there. And you can go there. So now I did ask this before, and I'm sure someone did answer it, but I missed it because I was too busy looking at things. What's the name of these connections on the side of these computers? So it's in here. You've got this little window. Crap. You've got this little window in the side here, and then you've got little cards that can go inside there. Now I've got two of my laptops with these. They're populated with a little thing that slides in and is an SD card reader. So it means that my laptop has an SD card reader, but you can put other things in there. Express card, there we go. Yeah. And I have to confess, I mean, once you do have them populated with a little SD card reader or something like that, they become quite useful. Took over from PCMCIA. Was PCI Express card, was PCIe. Yeah, so nifty stuff, nifty stuff. What were some of the things that you could get? I mean, obviously there'd be no point in having one that was like, I don't know, Wi-Fi, because this thing's already got Wi-Fi. So what sort of things might one, other than an SD card reader, which I've already mentioned? doesn't seem right. Oh, maybe it is. USB 3 card. Okay, cool. That's something. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah. Is that right? No, I don't think that's right. I think that is meant to go there. Maybe. I can see myself having to pull out the iFixit. Yeah, that looks more like it. That fits better. Okay, so there's that. Now, where did this missing screw come from? It's a very small one. Very small. There's that. There's that. Is it there? Doesn't seem right. Oh, well, we'll keep putting it together. You never know. I got to get my... There it is. That thing there. And he goes... I believe it's like that. I got it around the wrong way. Yeah, I had it around the wrong way. That's the way around it goes. Is that right? Seems awfully long. That's not right. That's way too long. Oh, okay, now there's that. That has to go back. There is an iFixit thing on this, so if I really start to get confused, I can always refer to the iFixit. Microbit on eBay and found some USB keyboards. Pfft. When was my bench last clear? Oh, I'm not sure. The speaker, those long ones are probably for this speaker. Every now and again I just get so frustrated with the mess in here, and then I clean it. And it just happens. Bang. Clean. It's like magic. Okay, those are those ones. Thosey. Okay, there's a speaker in there, which this is the connector that we had to repair at the beginning. And then we've got to put the drive in place. We're getting close, people, we're getting close. It's exciting, isn't it? Can barely contain myself. Oopsie daisy. Pop that there. Is this where the missing screw goes? Nope. I am missing a screw though. Very, very confusing. This is a screw that's meant to be there. What did I do with it? Screws falling out. The world is an imperfect place. There we go. This'll do. This'll do. It's all fine. I think the issue is that I basically just put some of these screws in the wrong place, in the wrong little slots when I was taking them out, and that's why I'm now confusing myself. They're all here. I just Do you have a Matte Color Classic 2 board for sale? I bought a Color Classic from Japan and it already had LC57 board in it. Like the original board. Yeah, well, not me, I'm afraid. Don't really end up with many surplus vintage boards these days. Anyone got any ideas what this screw might be for? Maybe that? Nope, it's too small. Could be this. Yep, that'll do us. There was a missing screw there, and it fit, and everything looks fine, and now it's all good. So, there's crisis averted. We found out where the missing screw went. Rightio, now it's time to put the board back in, and that involves getting the board, for starters, wherever I put it. And here it is. So this is the board I was telling you about, that it is actually a 2010 board, even though this is in a 2011 chassis. This board has sort of been cleaned and looked after before and everything, but yeah, and we had to replace this little connector on there because I accidentally broke it off while putting it apart. So we get the little power connector and we plug that in here. God, I can't believe this has taken me an hour and 48 to do. Who would have thunk it? There we go. Into his little home. Line up all the little holes. And then we've got to get all these bloody cables. And I'm going to take this out as well. Get that plug. Yeah, through there, that through there, that through there. Through there. You just got to make sure you got all the plugs on the right side of the board before you start screwing it back down again, because that can be a real pain when you suddenly go, oh, that's the cable's underneath, and you have to pull it apart. And that needs to go in. Are you in? Not quite in. Come on. Oh, there's something in there. What is that? Oh, it's that piece of metal. Ugh, it's bent up. That sucks. I was so close. There's a little piece of metal on the side of this port plug thing, and I think I'm going to just cut it off. Make life easier. Can I get it in the position without cutting it? Yeah, I think we're good there. You can see why I put the tape around the plug here, can't you? Because I mean, it gets a bit of a beating. Sorry, I'm missing the chat at the moment because I have to keep looking at this. I will check over things when I get this back into position. And Make sure that I haven't missed anything of significant importance. There you go. That, no. There we go. So, that is more like it. We're all tucked away in there nice and neatly. Okay. Micro-Mage Repair, hello there, welcome. Do you have formal repair, training and repair? Do you have formal training on repair soldering, or are you self-taught? I am self-taught. Very much so self-taught. Self-taught on most things, actually. I did do a course on touch typing once. Right, so it's getting easier now. We're getting close. So this is the connector that I repaired. I'm going to stick the plug onto that now. And then there's a plug there. That's for the CD-ROM drive or DVD-ROM drive, whatever it is. We've got a little plug here for all of our Wi-Fi stuff. I think that's the Wi-Fi stuff. Or is it? No, hang on. That's the camera for the screen. I think it's a little camera. We've got here, that's the trackpad. This is the keyboard. So this is the new keyboard cable. As you can see, I put this little bit of tape here so that I can then bend that down. Now, one of the things I will do with this is use the microscope. So sorry, folks, I'm just going to do this now onto the scope view. And we might even focus it. How about that? There we go. And it just, I find it a lot easier, and particularly with the new cables, because the new cables are all flat. They don't have a nice curve on them. So with the new cable, I just get the, it's just so much easier to do this if you can see it clearly. I'll have to bend it maybe. Am I self-taught in software development as well? Yes, I am. I have actually told this story before. So basically I worked in pre-press, printing, pre-press design, that sort of stuff. Product, you know, packaging design, all these sorts of things. And we started getting web inquiries at that place. There was a design studio. We started getting web inquiries, people saying they wanted to do websites. And I was already building websites as a hobby, just basic stuff, using things like Claris Homepage or Adobe PageMill and SiteMill. And then we actually had an inquiry for a website that wasn't just like, you know, essentially almost like just a business card. And they wanted one that you could actually store data and read from a database and stuff like that. And I was like, I've got no idea how to do that. So I did a little bit of research, and generally at that time, the consensus was for PHP combined with MySQL. So I went and bought myself a great big fat book on learning PHP and MySQL, and learned that. And have gone with that ever since. I also did quite a little bit of multimedia. Done imagery touching. I've done what else? 3D illustration. Lots and lots of stuff over the years. Mainly just fulfilling a need, really. I like learning new things. Right, now I do appreciate, for everyone who has been sticking around with me here, I do appreciate that this is now borderlining on probably one of the most boring live streams I've ever done. So I apologise for that. But I will try and get this stupid computer wrapped up soon, so I can then move on to something a little bit more interesting, assuming people are still watching and they haven't all just left in droves. Is it a little bit, you know, premature of me to just do all these screws up without even testing this thing yet? What do you think? Crap. This is not magnetised, or not very well. One of the ways you can tell with these if it's the keyboard that's giving you grief is down on the little corner here. There's a couple of little pads that you can just touch together, just here, which are the same as pressing the power button on the keyboard on the other side. So if the power button on the keyboard's not working, and then you press these little pads together, you know, you short these pads and it switches on, then you know there's something wrong with the keyboard. It's not that one. 1, 2. Ah, there it is. Okay, so let's get these things plugged in here, and then I think I will fire it up, and we'll just test to see if it's working. Breakers of all trades, yeah. It's one of the reasons why I ended up actually starting my own business all those years ago, and that was because it was very, very difficult to find a job, because I have all these kind of different skills, and I was like, probably works out better for me to just work for myself, because in that way I can just apply all those skills. If I actually go to get a job somewhere, they're probably going to have trouble figuring out how to use me. Right, so I'm going to test this out now. I'm going to put him on his side. Actually, I should plug the battery in, shouldn't I? Shouldn't I? Don't ever use metal things for battery connectors, like I'm doing here. Don't do what I'm doing here. God. Come on, you stupid thing. There we go. Breakers does have the word branch in it, doesn't it? Alright, so on his side, like thus, I'm going to press the power button. I see the fan spin. And that lovely vibrating sound of those absolutely rogered speakers. Oh, we got some display issues here. So that ain't right. So I'm going to have a look at this display connector. I'll power it off. I mean, I don't imagine there's anything actually wrong with the computer because we didn't do anything to it. It's probably more likely to be just an issue with this little display connector. So I'm going to look at that under the microscope. And we'll check and make sure that it's all making proper contact where it should be. Looks alright. It actually looks remarkably good. I thought this one was in much worse condition. Maybe I'm thinking of another one. Okay. Good night, Francois. Thank you for joining. Okay. Whoopsie. Oh, I've got a little bit here that's God, that horrible sound is just plastic. It's nothing terribly bad. This looks like that's meant to be no. Under here somewhere. I think that's meant to be underneath that, holding a wire. I'll put him in here for the moment. Anyhow, we've got to get this, hopefully get this screen sorted. I mean, if this computer has another problem, then I'm just not even going to bother. Yeah, no, it's still doing it. Oh, it's definitely a dicky cable. I'm pushing it and it's blacking out and stuff. I've got sort of a bit of stage lights underneath it as well. Oh, it went good there for a sec. There it is. Do I just leave it like that now and don't touch it? I'm very tempted to. See, that's how it's meant to look. Oh, you can't see. Top view. Top view. Can't find it. There it is. There we go. So let's just quickly iCloud password. Pairs off. iCloud password. Pairs off. iCloud password. Not now. Listen to that hard drive spin. Let's go into text edit. We'll just check and see that we've got keys on the keyboard. Yeah, looking good. Looking good. All right, let's shut him down. Say goodnight. Put the last of it together and then forget about it. Oh, forget about it. I think once I get the back on, it'll be protected enough. Low battery, needs charging. That's not current. I think the battery does have a decent charge in it. Okay, switching himself off. Switch off. Headless laptops are a thing nowadays, and that's because sometimes people end up getting hold of laptops with busted screens for really cheap, and so they then just attach a screen to it, and you say, "Oh, I managed to get this computer for quite cheap." I have seen that. I have seen that. Just taking this off here for a brief moment because I've got something that I believe is meant to go under here somewhere. Or is it there? Yeah, it's... See how there's a little metal thing holding that wire there? I think there's supposed to be one under here as well. I think. It's supposed to be on that screw. Get out of there. Is that right? That doesn't look right at all. Maybe this is out of another computer. Oh, it's there. Oh, okay. I found it. Everyone calm down. Everyone calm down. I saw the nervous look on your face. You know, the bad thing about working on these computers, this laptop, is I have to concentrate so much while I'm doing it. I don't get to talk as much. It's not good. I'll be very glad once I'm done with this. And then I can actually start paying attention to the chat, get involved, get amongst it. That goes var, like that. I didn't realize because I'm a stupid. I lasted 2.5 hours and a half, fixed an A1418 2K iMac. Well done. But yes, I definitely think that means it's time for you to move on. So thank you very much, Kai. I'm always very happy to see you on the live stream there, but I also worry about you because it's so bloody late. Whenever I live stream, it's really late there. Unless I did like that one I did last Saturday, which I think it was like morning or something, wasn't it? I started streaming at a very unusual time last Saturday for my workshop and wine live stream, of which there will be more. And I'm even going to make a little thumbnail for it. The question I have to answer though is, when I do those workshop and wine, do I keep the broadcast, or do I delete it afterwards, or certainly hide it afterwards? I just worry about whether there'll be any negative repercussions because, well, to be quite honest, I do drink wine during that workshop and wine live stream. And I worry about people looking at it thinking, oh God, look at this idiot. Idiot. Don't drink Runderberg bum, it's make them a Patreon exclusive. Yes, I could do that. Not as late as that classic Reloaded stream where I stayed up till 5:30. Yes, I remember that. That was quite the stream though, wasn't it? Geez, I had a lot of viewers for that one. That was huge. Huge. Right, I think we're all connected up again now. I might just check the backlight while I'm at it. The screen backlight, because that was one of the things that I was working to try and maintain. Three hours sleep that day. I can't exist on 3 hours. Just can't. I just can't. So, ever in this country at the moment performing, we have both Taylor Swift and Pink at the same time. What are the odds? Greetings from Argentina. Ortega Computación. Greetings. Hello there. 2:41 AM here. Yes, I excuse you, Kai, if you do want to go to bed. I totally understand. I can't do that. Seriously, for me, and when I see it's like 1 o'clock, I freak out a bit. I'm like, oh, gotta go to bed. Lou will miss me otherwise. Yes, you don't want that. Just waiting for this to get dark enough now for the screen, for the backlight. A certain amount of the OS has to install before you can start getting backlight. At least there's no alarm tomorrow morning. Hey! I can't stay up late anymore. I get messages from you at very odd times of the day. I don't know if you're up very early or up very late, but I do sometimes get messages from Steve at very, very early times of the day. Yes, the keyboard backlight is working. It's a little bit stronger in the middle than it is outside, but there's that whole thing about caring and not caring. I'm in the not caring part. Alright, let's shut this sucker down. Shut down. Shut down. Firefox interrupted. Well, piss off, Firefox. Try again. Cancel. There we go. It's shutting down. Friday nights are the best. No need to go to bed. Yeah, I mean, I've always got so much to do, though. This is the thing. I have to make sure that I get in bed in time so that I can get up and do things the next day. Because whether it be me doing a live stream or whether me doing YouTube videos or cleaning the house or whatever, I don't like losing my weekend. You off? Yeah, he's off. I couldn't tell because the screen's so dirty. I thought it was still, the backlight was still on. All right, so let's get this. We'll put the back on. And we will consider this one happily repaired laptop. And the owner will be pleased because it is his daily driver. And I've had it for quite some time. This black plastic bit at the back has just been smashed to the shit out. Oh. Where'd that little screw come from? That looks like a keyboard screw. Oh, that looks like there might be missing a keyboard screw. Don't tell anyone. Did the rain affect you yesterday when you went to the Taylor Swift concert? Get your hair wet. Yeah, I actually went out to dinner last night, and I have to confess that a massive storm just hit just before we're about to leave, and I'm thinking, oh crap, I don't really want to be driving in this, because it was really bucketing down. But thankfully it stopped by the time I actually hopped into the car, or we hopped into the car. It was, and we barely got any rain on the trip that we had. Apparently during the Taylor Swift concert last night, they had to evacuate some of the stadium when there was lightning strikes. But then it settled down. I only know one Taylor Swift song. I mean, I might know more, but I didn't necessarily know they were Taylor Swift. You know, as in if someone played a song, I might go, oh yeah, I know that song. And then they go, well, that's a Taylor Swift song. And I go, ah, okay. We're nearly done, by the way. This is 2 more screws and then we can move on to something else and we can forget about this crap. Right, one repaired laptop, not my concern anymore. Right, so I talked a bit before about some of the other things I have to do. I am not only doing this, I'm going to do something else today, but I'm just not sure what to do next. So I have in terms of what I have down here right now, I've got an SE30 board with a sad Mac chime that I'd kind of like to figure out. And I have a PC compatibility card which needs recapping. Now, what are their choices? Because I mean, I probably won't get to all 3 today. Make a poll. I'm not sure I can be bothered. Okay, I'll make a poll. How do I make a poll? I'm not even sure if I know how to make a poll. Let's have a look. Here we go. Plus, engage with your audience. Start a poll. Okay, ask a question. What Next, answer 1. SE30 SAD Mac chime. And the other one is PC compatibility recap. Start poll. There we go. Get into it, folks. In the meantime, I'll just do a little bit of this thing here. I'll just go.
Smash that like button.
Woo. So, we'll give it another minute. How about that? Another minute, and then the decision will be made, and I'll start working on something. 8 votes. Folks, I think there are something like 30 people watching, so please get in there and get amongst it. Engage with your audience. That's what I'm doing. Votes. There we go. What's it say? What's it say? Does it show me? Let's have a look at the old. Okay, at the moment, whoops. At the moment, the sad Mac chime is definitely looking like it's going to be the winner. So I think we'll end the poll now, and we'll say yes, thank you, folks. It's going to be a sad Mac chime. End poll. Bing. There we go. Thank you, everyone, for that. Alright, so the first thing I need to do is I need to find the serial number of the one with the sad Mac chime on my repairs interface thingy, who's a fudge what's a rooney. And then we'll go not now, and then we'll go this one, SE30 in progress. Edit. What does it say? Nope. Nope. Notes. Recapped, tested, and chimed. So that was a good one. Let's try this one. This one says okay, I've given no description, so this must be it. I'm pretty sure this is the one. So let's have a look at that serial number, SG9451. Let's go on a hunt through all the SE30s that I have floating around here. I think it might be this one. Yeah, this looks right. So let's just check this out. See how we go with this one. Change views here. Side view, side view, side view. There we go. So, yep. Yeah, I can see some work that I've done there. So let's have a look. Oh, excuse me. Oh, crap. Why is this one in there and that one there? That one should be here and this one there. It's just stupid. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Oh, dear. It's my dirty SE30. We like him dirty. How does the PC compatibility card work? I don't know, it's not mine. Alright. So, let's get a speaker. I've got one floating around here somewhere, I'm pretty sure. Please. Please be a speaker. Somewhere. Anyone? I think this is the one that doesn't work. It used to work. It doesn't anymore. I'll just test it. Dirty 30s. Okay, let's just test this quickly. See if this speaker works. No, this speaker is stuffed. I will steal a speaker from somewhere else. That looks like a speaker. Yay, found one. Right. Okay, so let's get some power into it. We'll switch it on and we'll just see what we get. If I remember correctly, this one did give me a SADMAC. Yeah. Just like that. Instant SADMAC chime. Oh, hang on. Did you hear the tone? See that how it starts with a single tone? So it doesn't just go ding, 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 ding. It starts with a ding, 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 ding. Now that typically means RAM bank B. And there's no RAM in bank B. So we know it is not actually RAM. It's something else. So I'm going to have a little inspection around. This is a remarkably clean board. So I sort of getting a SADMAC chime, or RAM Mac cham chim cham. What's the cham cham? Does anyone remember that from Thunderbirds? Anyone used to watch Thunderbirds? I love Thunderbirds. Okay, I'm going to try some RAM from this one, just to be sure. We've got to be sure to be sure. Actually, I've got some RAM here that I know is good in an SE30 because I've tried it. So we'll try this one. We'll put this RAM in. We'll just give it a little bit of a spin just to make sure it's not RAM. You just got to rule that out. It's always a sensible thing to do to make sure that it's not actually just a crappy RAM sim. Thunderbirds are go. Dun 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 dun. Bum, 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 bum. You know, Paul, that would be a really sensible thing to do. The closest thing I had to it was this speaker here, because it's stuffed. I don't, the cone's all crap, and I put a little cable tie on there to keep this cable protected. But then this just stopped working the other day. So, yeah, I need to get a speaker. I mean, I've got spare speakers from like 2SIs and stuff like that. I'll just, as you say, put it in a little case. It's a smart thing to do. But I am not a smart man. Johnny. All right, so this is known good RAM. This has been tested and worked in an SE30 of a similar vintage. So if we are still getting a SADMAC chime, we know that it is definitely not the RAM. I mean, I'm almost certain of that already, but I've got to be sure to be sure. Okay. Plug him in. And 3, 2, 1. Yeah, okay. So that is good. It is good in, well, it's not good. I mean, it's not working, but it's good in that we know it's not the RAM. No, it's not something simple. We can then start our diagnostics journey. There we go. I'll put that RAM back in the bag that it came from. And then we'll have a little bit of an inspection. I know I've already done a few things to this board, so Yes, voting is compulsory in Australia, so I hope all Australians did vote in that poll. Otherwise, there's a fine coming. Right, let's have a little look now under the microscope and we'll just see what we can see. So, as I mentioned before, I have already done a few things on this and I'll talk over what they are. So, let's get some nice focus going on here. A lovely little 68888888882. Right, okay. Righty. So, RAM sim slot thingies. There we go. No big deal there. And we've got these little guys here. We've got our little resistor. He comes out from the RAM slot there. We'll just make sure that I see some blackening there, but that's okay. We'll make sure we're just going to do a little bit of the old beepity beep mode, because that's what we're going to be doing, checking a little bit of continuity here and there. Okay. Yep, they look a little bit nasty, they're okay. Here I've cleaned up a little bit. I don't see anything that actually looks like a broken trace here. No, a little bit ugly, but no broken traces. So that's fine. I don't need to replace this blade again. I've been a bit rough on the blades lately. Now, one of the good things about the SE30 is I pretty much have all of the... well, we've got schematics. We've got matrices. Now, these are little guys that are often a bit of trouble, but I have replaced all of these. And assuming I didn't put any around the wrong way, I don't think I did. These are the MUX, RAM MUX, DMUX, MUX multiplexers, RAM multiplexers, these guys. So it's common, I have had several times, I've had these multiplexers die, and then they are the cause of the problem. A lot of these then go through all these little traces through these vias, so you can, if you've got any corrosion around these vias, that can sometimes be it, but I don't see any corrosion around those vias. In actual fact, this board just looks amazingly good, so why is it giving me a sad mag chime? These all look good. Just looking. Oh, that doesn't look very nice, but I don't actually think that would be a problem here. This is related to the real-time clock and the battery. That's not going to have any bearing on the RAM. Ugly. Okay. Let's have a look on the other side. Yes, I can get the oscilloscope out. That is a possibility of what we will do next. Oh, that's not good. Piece of metal underneath. But I'm going to just do my normal sort of diagnostics process. I'll get my other glasses for this, and what I'm going to do is I'll start off with a non-microscope view, and we'll just go. And I'm looking for any components that might have popped off. Because they can get knocked off. I've seen it happen before. That happened to be the problem with the LC3 that I had here just on the bench the other day. Got all these little diodes here as well. They seem to be okay. None of them seem to be missing or anything like that. I'll look at them closer in a moment. But at this stage I don't see any components that might have been accidentally removed from the board. Another thing I always look out for on these SE30s is all of these vias are full of solder, and sometimes when you apply heat on the other side, the solder falls out the bottom and blobs up. And when it blobs up, it can actually end up blobbing up next to another blob. So you can end up creating a little short circuit around here, around these little blubbies. Blubbies. Blubs. Blubs. I don't see any issues. I mean, I can see some that have blobbed up here, but I don't see them making contact. I'll show you on the microscope what I'm referring to. Whoopsie. So these are little blobs that I was referring to, and when you apply heat to the other side, like for instance when I'm doing recapping, these little blobs can end up sticking out like that. You can see how that one's sort of bulged out, and that one's bulged out, bulgy, 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 bulgy. And I have had a board once where they bulged out and then two made contact. Two of these ended up making contact on the other side of the board. And it was enough to make the computer not work. And as soon as I cleaned away the solder so that they weren't making contact anymore, it started working. Now, one of the things we know is when we get a sad Mac chime, it typically means that the computer is communicating with the ROM, because that chime actually has to come from the ROM. So if you're not communicating with the ROM, you're not going to get a sad Mac chime. So there's almost like by hearing a sad Mac chime, we can say that it's probably not something relating to address lines, but it could be something relating to data lines. This is the area here where the blobs are most at risk of touching each other. Because see how close together they all are? Okay, and we'll just have a look at these diodes. They all look pretty pristine, but just make sure that we don't see any that look like they're busted or anything like that. A little bit of solder floating around on the board there. Okay. All right. I recapped this one. I think I did. Looks like me. It looks like my work. It really does. This has been through the cleaner. You can tell because the green, this is the UV mask, has gone a little bit sort of like matte, and that's because some of it's just been cleaned away from the ultrasonic cleaner. So yeah, my recapping here. So one would hope that it's a reasonable job. One hopes. But it's just not the sort of symptoms that we're getting at the moment where I would be looking at it being a problem with recapping. It's the wrong sorts of symptoms. So we might end up having to get our little data line matrix out and check out the data lines. Jeez, that's crummy, isn't it? Do we have anything going wrong underneath the battery holder? That's one section I cannot see. I expect not, but I'm going to take it off just so I can be sure. It's that area, it's that danger zone. Everyone holding out. I haven't even checked my sort of viewer numbers. I mean, people could just be dropped off. Oh no, there's still people watching. Hello to everyone who's still watching. I was going to take the battery holder out. That's right. Okay, firing up the soldering iron for once. I think I'm going to need to replace this iron tip soon. It's getting pretty grubby and worn. Good. Glad people are still here. Okay, the battery holder goes there. So it is that one and that one. Let's see how we go. I might need to scope it because of my eyes. That was a nice bit of hair that just went up in smoke there. Bit smelly. My wife's making a cup of tea. I'd love a cup of tea. It's going to be a bit of a struggle getting this battery holder out. I can tell you right now, I'm telling you that for nothing. But we'll do it. Ow, that's getting hot. Ow. Hot burnies, burnies, hot burnies, burnies. No, that's not working. I think this thing must be jammed in here. Could you have a bad ceramic capacitor? Look, yes, technically it is possible. It's not normally the cause of these sorts of problems, so I wouldn't necessarily be thinking of that at this stage. When we get a little bit further down in the diagnostics, you know, we can then check to see if we've got a short. Because typically those ceramics will usually fail short. I wouldn't expect this sort of symptom though, if that were the case. The fact that, you know, it is actually giving us a sad Mac chime. I mean, a sad Mac chime essentially means that the RAM test has failed. And so we have to sort of be thinking along the lines, well, why would a RAM test be failing? And look, taking this battery holder off is probably a waste of time. But as I say, it's just if you're wanting to inspect the board and then you've got a part of the board you can't see, you can't help but want to look at it. Okay, that's out. This side's not out. Going to try the hot air again. Just with a little bit more force. There she blows. We got her off. Nice and forceful there. Well, the bloody traces look perfect underneath it. So, no surprises there. So, I'm looking specifically, you know, just for any little black spots or anything like that. I'm just as happy to not have that on for the moment. But this is definitely going to be one of those repairs where I have to look at the schematic. And anyone who watches my live streams knows I don't actually like doing that. Because I just feel like it really slows the live stream down. And what I usually do is I pull out the schematic as soon as I finish a live stream, then I find the problem, then I fix it. And then I'm like, ugh, I didn't do it on camera. Doesn't that suck? We have tried this with a different ROM sim, by the way. I should mention that. That was something that I did try earlier. I tried it with one of the, I tried it with the, what do you call it? The Rominator. I think it worked even less with the Rominator from memory. Nice soldering work, even if I do say so myself. Ooh, what's going on with that? Let me just have a look here. Alright, now where's my, oh crap, my SE30 guide. I think we tried swapping a few of these chips out as well. Still, you know, these ones, swapping them over from other ones, didn't have any luck with that either. So what I'm inclined to do now is to just start doing some tests. Just want to try something here very quickly. With no RAM on, I want to just see what chime we get. Whether it's a different chime. And then we'll get another SE30 board and compare. Wah, 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 wah. Okay, so I've got no RAM on the board, none whatsoever. And we are going to do a quick little test. And 3, 2, 1. Okay, so we get that starting chime, and that, you know, the long tone to start off with. And I just want to see if we get the same on another SE30 board. That one's a dead one, not that one. My watch is telling me to eat McDonald's. Yeah. Okay, here's an SE30 board I worked on the other day. I haven't put the axial caps back onto this yet, but that's alright. It'll still start up without them. Alright. I just want to compare the tones. Okay. 3, oh god, I've got to plug it in, idiot. Into the power. I was a little bit overzealous removing that, wasn't I? Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay, get exactly the same sound. So where I was thinking it was a bank B problem, it's not necessarily a bank B problem. So it could just be bank A. I thought that was the case, but I think I might be getting my tones mixed up. Unlikely to be bad slots. And obviously we're getting, yeah. But it does now make me want to do a few little multimetering beepity beep beeps things. If I can just find the correct documentation. Fine, SE30. SE30. Here we go, there's the repair guide. And is this the one? Yeah, let's just have a quick look at that. Oh, it's in pages. Okay, well, let's just try this one. Okay, we've got Mac technical files. We have 68K schematics. Oops, this is my little thingy here. And then we have SE30, and then we go here to that, and then I'll go to, it would have been good if I had a printout of this, and I do, but I think it's fallen down behind the air conditioner, and I can't see any way of getting and grabbing that without having all sorts of problems. So that's the address line matrix, and then this is the data line matrix. RAM mux. Okay, so we've got the address lines for the RAM mux. We could check that, I guess. We'll check the address lines going through there. So, oh God, this is going to get so boring. Sorry, folks. I do apologise. Greetings from cooler Sydney. Yes, it is cooler Sydney, isn't it? Much cooler nowadays. Explorer Zach, hi Brankus, I recently received a battery bombed SE30 that boots to a checkerboard type screen. SE30 checkerboard. Interesting. Okay. First thing you do after cleaning it. So an SE30, well, I mean, obviously, so here's the real big problem with an SE30 and when it comes to battery bombs. I've got a battery bombed board here that I can show you. And here it is. More likely to be one with this sort of chip as opposed to the socketed, because they use different batteries with these ones, and those batteries were much more prone to leakage. Now this here is your ROM slot, right? And through here there are a whole stack of wires, address lines, that go from this ROM to other places on the board. Some boards are only 4 layers, so they have all the data and address and all that sort of stuff on the either outside, or on the top, or the bottom, and then the 2 layers inside are just for power rail or ground. The SE30 is actually a 6-layer board, and there are actually address and data lines going in between layers. Now the way those layers communicate with each other is via a via. So a via is a copper tube that goes through the board, and then it joins up with, and like you can join that layer to that layer. And one of the big problems you have with these is once these get heavily battery corroded like this, it can break those connections between a layer from, say, the top to a layer in the middle. And so then you end up breaking continuity there, and then you have your address lines and data lines missing. Now, if you were just saying to me that this is a board that, you know, just this is an average old SC30 board, I'd be telling you to look at specific things. But when we're talking about battery bomb boards, what you actually have to do is you've got to go to all of these areas here where we can see all of these dead traces. These are all goners. And you've got to kind of figure out where that one goes to. So, okay, all right, this goes to this ROM mux chip. It goes to that pin there. And then you have to look up in the schematic where that's supposed to go. And then you've got to find out where it's not going to and then run a wire to it. And that's just how it is with battery bomb boards. There's no getting around that. You have to end up running lots of wires throughout the board. Geez, this one's a mess, isn't it? Don't want to work on this one. No. If it's just a regular SE30, then the normal problems are related to either corrosion around here, corrosion around here, there's, where those capacitors are, corrosion around these chips, these row of chips you have running along there, potentially having problems with these RAM sort of multiplexer chips. You know, but if you're talking battery bombed, It's generally all this area here, and there are so many important little wires and stuff there. It's a nightmare. Right, let's go in and check some of these address lines. I'm going to just do that now. So easy enough to do with a multimeter. We just have to go in here and we go to the beepity beep mode. The address lines start from pin 4 on the ROM. And 1's up on the left here, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And that 4 should be going to 3 and 6 of the RAM MUX. So that's 3 and 6 of UJ2. UJ2 is there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. And so that's fine. And then we go to 5. And 5 goes to 2 and 5 of UJ2. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we go to 6. And that's 10 and 13. 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13. Yep. And then the next one. 11 and 14. Yep, there we go. So then we go to the next one. It's dull, isn't it? Sorry, everyone. I'm really sorry. UI2. And that is 3 and 6. 1, 2, 3, 6. And then 9. And that is 2 and 5. 2, 5. If anyone's wondering what the weird noise outside is, that's a raven. 8, 8. Oh, hang on. What have I done? Why is that 8? What, have I moved to the wrong place? Hang on. I think I have. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, yeah, I did. I've got to go up to 31 now. Sorry, folks. Proper diagnostics is boring. Typically what I try and do as much as possible when I'm doing diagnostics, I try and do the visual stuff where I'm finding things on the board and I'm going, oh, look, there's a trace break, let's repair it. Or, you know, but when you get down to proper diagnostics where you're checking things against schematics and testing things with a multimeter or with an oscilloscope, oh my God, that gets dull. Sorry, everyone. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. I've got gunk on here. It's not writing very well. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 60. Okay. I have done quite a lot of sort of SE30 diagnostics, and there are quite a few tips. And look, there's this really good guide. It's not finished. It's not finished because it's my fault, because I'm supposed to send photos to Elemento so he can stick it in his guide. And I haven't sent him photos. I need to send him photos of corrosion and stuff like that. But, for instance, with an oscilloscope, you can actually just place an oscilloscope on different address lines, and the frequency will tell you whether the address line is working properly. But the fact that I'm actually getting the SADMAC chime leads me to think a lot of things are working. The only part that's not working is the RAM test. And I'm not actually sure. I probably need to look a little, because these are the RAM mux chips and need to see where else they go. So it could be a break. Anyhow, maybe, yeah, anyhow. More looking required. A raven sounds like it's saying a rude word. Yeah, they sound sort of like an annoyed child most of the time. All right, so let's get back to the little guide here. So we need to go to 31. 31 is 31, and 31 is 10 and 13 of this one. Okay. 31, 8, 9, 10, and 13. Cool. And then 32. And that's 11 and 14. Cool. Did I not stick the right chips on here or something? Wouldn't it be funny if I actually stuck the wrong chips on here? F425. Hang on. 74 F258. No, I did stick the right chips on. I'll just... F258. Yep, that's the right one. And I know these work because I've put them on before. Okay, so that was 11 and 14s. That was 32. Now we go to 33. And 33 goes to 3 and 6 of UI3. UI3? UI3. Yep. And then 2 and 5. And then 35. 10 and 13. And then that one is 11 and 14. Cool. And then we need 37. 37 is 3 and 6 of UJ3. And 2 and 5. And then 10 and 13. $40, 11 and 14. Cool. And 41. 41. These are all going to the glue chip as well. Some of these are going to the glue chip. And then we've got... Yep, okay. So then we've got... What are we looking at? Okay, sorry. I'm just getting sidetracked here. 3 and 6 of UJ4. Two and 5. 10 and 13. And 11 and 14. Okay, so we've got no problem between the RAM mux chips and that. What we are going to now look at is the data lines going to the RAM slots. So we should be able to D0, that's ROM 14. Okay, cool. Just going to check on the chat because I'm we're definitely getting to the stage, aren't we? I will probably have to wrap this up soon. I've been going for 3 hours. I've still got to go do some shopping. I know I haven't got anywhere with this. Mind you, I did something today. Oh, that's right, I replaced the keyboard. Wasn't that fun? Okay, so ROM 14, that's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and that needs to go to S1A is 3, so that's slot 1A, that's the bottom one, 3. Is that it? Hey, why not? S1A. Sim1 A 3. That's really... I wonder if these are just really dirty or something. And I know someone already suggested that. But we're not getting good contact on these slots because I already have to push that down to get contact on it. Curious. Anyhow, we'll try that in a sec. I'll get a little bit of a file and run it up and down there. And then that's S3A. That's Sim3A. Oh, that one. Yep, that's good. I might actually do that, folks. So I'm just going to clean up these pins a bit because I'm actually starting to wonder now whether that might be the issue. So I'll get my little files. Got my little files here. And I'll just get... Oh, the one I want's not here. That's a bit of a pain. Well, that's the one I want. It is here. I don't have any deoxit, so I can't do that. I'm not even sure if you can get deoxit here. You might be able to. I've never seen it. Dana is here. Where have you been, Dana? My goodness me. I'm sitting here the whole time going, where's Dana? Why isn't Dana here? What's going on? I see him posting messages in our little group chat and I'm thinking, he's not watching this. Has Dana been getting ready to travel? Is that it? Traveling Dana. Watching the Grand Tour sand job. And somehow, that's what's supposed to be better than my live stream? Crazy. This, in actual fact, this has to be one of the most boring live streams I've ever done, so it just needs to be said. So we'll just give this one last little check and then I'll probably wrap up the live stream and I will then at a later date get back to doing that checking that I have been doing, going from one to the other, to the other, to the other, which is very dull, very slow, very tedious, but is a necessary evil. 100%, 100%, yeah, nah, yeah, nah, yeah, nah, 100%. 100% starting to die down a little bit here. I think Australians started getting very self-conscious about it when they realised how much fun people were making of Australians going, oh yeah, nah, 100%. wobble. A wobble. A wobble. I have these little hypodermic needles that I use for delivering a small amount of something into a precise location, and so if that's the case, I could probably get a bit of deoxit like that. All right, so we put that on there once again, just expecting this to still be the same, but just the way when I went to go check the continuity on that, the way it was. I was really having to push down on it to get any contact on it. I fixed my oven the other day. I just thought I should let everyone know that. Because I don't just fix computers. I do white goods as well. I am someone who definitely tries to keep things going for as long as possible. Peep, 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 peep. Esteban. All right. Speaker. I'm yelling at old Scuzzy hard drives. That's just a normal Friday night for Steve. We all know that. All right, we ready? We're ready? We're ready? Expecting the sad Mac chime immediately, but anyhow. The yelling does seem to be working. That's good to hear. That was different that time. I didn't get a sad Mac chime. Not getting anything on the screen, but that was curious. It's like it works less now. Never had that before. Okay, so we've got, yeah, definitely not getting a video signal. That's some weirdness. What's going on there? What's all that about? I want to pick your brain about setting up my Blue Scuzzy for testing old systems. You can also pick my brain about that too if you want, Dana. I'm sure Steve has this too. I think I sent it to him, but I've got a System 7.1 kind of universal operating system that you can just sort of, the disk image that you can put on. It's got a few utilities on it and stuff like that. And that disk image, if you just plonk it onto an SD card for use with the Blue Scuzzy, will boot for most of those old ones. I actually gave that disk image to Mr. J from the House of Moth as well. So I think I've given it to a few peeps. Jay won't remember that because he doesn't remember anything related to vintage computers. But okay, why aren't we getting anything anymore when we were getting a sad Mac chime? Tell me that. Is that progress? Just going to take the RAM out again. Okay, so with no RAM in it, it's a sad Mac chime, as you would expect. But now we were getting sort of some weird stuff going on when it came to putting some RAM in here. I don't know what to think. Who can we blame? We can blame this on someone. I think we should blame the problems I'm having on someone. Yeah, okay, so that's a new problem. Well, do we call that progress? We probably should call that progress. We're getting a sad match time before, now we're getting a silence. Yeah, we'll blame it on Jay. I think it's Jay's fault that this doesn't work. It's his contempt for vintage computers. Okay, well, I'm done. I want to go do some more day stuff. So, quick little recap. What we did manage to do today was replace a keyboard in a 17-inch MacBook Pro 2010/11, because it's a 2011 case with a 2010 logic board in it. That's very slow, very tedious. I had to solder on a little connector that I accidentally removed while pulling it apart. And we did find that it was a liquid damage of some sort that left a significant residue on the keyboard. So when the light catches that from the right angle, you can see it shining there in between the keys. So a definite residue on there. So the story that was sold to me about it being water doesn't hold water. So anyhow, that's what killed this keyboard. It has been replaced, and of course it seemed like it was a dead computer because the power button didn't work, and that's because the power button is part of the keyboard assembly. So once we replaced the keyboard, she powered up beautifully. Wow, she powered up. Don't know about beautifully. And then I started looking at this SE30 with the sad Mac chime. I have started some of the diagnostic side of things. I mean, basically, when you're getting a failed RAM test, it means you can kind of isolate the search to the RAM-based stuff. So if you get the schematic and you get the schematic shows you the RAM sims and where they're going to, we can, that's the sort of thing that we can actually look into, just that specific area. And in most cases, I've found one of two problems with these SE30s. Sometimes these MUX chips fail. We've also got these born identity resistors. I could, of course, go in and check those as well. They can fail too. So I will go in and check those. That can just be done with a multimeter. Yeah, so that's what I need to basically go in and check. I've got to check. These, as I say, have been replaced, so they should be fine. These are the RAM multiplexers. I've got to go through and check these Bourne's resistors, and I've got to go and check to make sure that I've got continuity with all the data lines. There are some diodes under here. I can go and check these diodes as well. I've never known these to fail, so that would probably be about the last thing that I check for. But, there are definite things that can be checked, but I will probably do those outside of live stream because they're so boring to watch. Okay, so my next live stream, I will probably go back to doing one of my soldering kit videos. I did a few of those, and I've still got quite a few kits to build. I've got my wacky glasses, like these. I know everyone wants a pair of these. They're so envious because, well, they're just so cool. All the kids are talking about them these days. So I've actually got two of these. This is the green pair. I've got a yellow pair and I've got a red pair. So I'll build one of those on a live stream. And I've also got a little piano keyboardy type thing that even has white and black keys. And what else? And I've got a little Tesla coil, which was one of those things that makes a little plasma flame up the top or something like that, I think. I'm not sure. I can see. Don't give me that. I can see beautifully. I can see clearly. Thanks for the stream, Bruce. See, I read that. I couldn't read that if I couldn't see, could I? Okay. Alrighty. Well, once again, thank you to everyone for joining. I apologise at being a fairly dull live stream. It definitely wasn't my finest, but it's life. Steve, these are the tools. These are my CRT adjustment tools that I have. So just in case you're looking, they're the ones that I have. And they're fine. They're not great, but they're fine. And they nearly got thrown away today by accident. Sure. Please check your Discord DM. Not in a hurry. I might. I don't get onto Discord very often, but okay. So I will say thank you to everyone for joining and for keeping me company while I was doing this live stream. Once again, sorry it was a little bit duller than usual. There was nothing particularly interesting about it, but you know, what are you going to do? I will probably be doing another one of those wine and workshop live streams at some stage in the not too distant future. I haven't figured out what I'll do. I maybe build a blue scuzzy or something like that. That's always fun to do when you're drunk. Yeah, so thanks again, everyone. Thanks for turning up. Thanks for keeping me company. Thanks for keeping the chat lively. It was buzzing along very well there at one stage. Well, it still is, actually. So, I hope to see you at the next one. So, bye-bye.